Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today. I am going to be building out a clone of a website to really spend a bit of time looking at CSS because I think it's something that I normally just kind of skip through in my videos quite quickly. We're going to be building out Pirsch.io. It's a privacy-friendly open source alternative to Google Analytics. I've not used it before. I found the website through Landbook. And yeah, some of the websites have quite a lot of animation and stuff, and I would love to get into that, but I'm not really feeling it right now. So I just want to go through the basics of the CSS layout. It covers quite a few things, and yeah, we're going to do this with Tailwind CSS. So I'm just going to Next.js Tailwind CSS example. I'm just going to clone this Tailwind CSS example from the next examples, which will save me configuring that. So we do Prisma, it's not Prisma, Pirsch clone, like so. That is going to clone the with Tailwind CSS example. And you can do that with all of the examples. You just got to put in the different name, of course. So we're going to do that. I'm going to do my ESLint config as well when we get to it. And yeah, we're going to build it out. We're going to do this header section first, and we've got a hero section. We're going to use next image to bring in this image. We will add all these sections. I'm not sure how much we'll get into, styling the code block, but we'll definitely make it look right. And yeah, like a little footer section there at the bottom as well. So hopefully this is interesting. What I'm going to do, I don't normally do it this way around. I'm going to do the desktop site first because I think that's probably where most of the learning will happen, as opposed most things are just going to be under each other for mobile, and then we can go back and configure the mobile one afterwards. So now that we have got our project ready, let me just double check this. Yep, we've got our project ready. What do we want to do? ESLint. So let me do this ESLint config file, and basically it just means all of my code is formatted the same. ESLint rc.js, and then we want a dot prettier rc, like so. You can paste that in. Let's reload the window, so it reloads the ESLint config, and we should be good to go. What I am going to do to start with is, so you can see there, we just format this. I'm just, let me get rid of, well, everything pretty much. We can, yeah, just get rid of everything and just return a div. Hello, hello. And then yeah, I want to take some of these colors, if I can find the colors. So let me just go to the body. Okay, perfect. So we have all of these CSS variables. So let me just paste them into here. And yeah, what we're going to do is extend colors like this. I think if we do a pure gray like this, we can then define, let me just see if I can just do it this way. So I'll get rid of all the dashes and the gray section, and then I want to get rid of all of these semicolons. I can replace it with commas, and then yeah, I want to just wrap these in. Will ESLint do that? No. So let me wrap these in quotation marks. Sorry, it's a bit of a process, but hey, at least we will get our color palette sorted out really quickly. I don't know if you can hear, but it's just started raining pretty badly. Let me just close that just in case the noise is bad. So inside this colors now, let's do the same thing and just change these. So let's get rid of all of the double dashes. I don't want these dashes here. Let's change those. I want to replace those with commas, and we can do this. And actually what I want to do is just preface all of these with like PIR, green, beige, yellow, yellow hover, red, and blue. So we've got this grayscale, and then we've got all of the other colors that they're declaring here. And I think this background is like this beige color. So let's do this. So if you're using Next.js along with me, then that is great. Just make yourself this custom document Next.js, just search for that, and from the docs, literally just copy their custom document. That's what it is by default. It goes in your pages folder, document.js. And then we can do that. So what I can do is class name, and then we should be bg-per beige. Okay, have I got that wrong? Colors, per gray. Okay, yeah. So I want it in the colors. So is that gonna PIR beige? There we go. And then let's run our dev server. So what font are we using? So it's using DM Sans. Is that on Google Fonts? Yes, I've used it before. So let's select all of these styles. So we got regular, medium, bold, and bold 700 is the maximum. We're gonna add this link stuff to our document. So in this head, we'll add these links, and then with JSX, we of course need to close out the link. Next.js has actually just released in their 10.2 update a automatic font optimization. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I will have a look into that. And then we need to add this to our Tailwind config. So if we do Tailwind config, theme, extend, and then we want to extend font family like this, and then let's just say, like, we'll call it a display font, and I believe if we pass the array like that, that should do it. 1 second, the light is completely covering my screen now. And then we can just, why are we getting an error in this file? Okay, we're not, it's lying. So then what I should be able to do now on this body is just say font dash display. And we're gonna need that. We don't need this though. So we go to our local host now. This should be the correct font family. Yeah. Cool. So looks like that's up and running. That is the background color as well. So we're good to go. So I guess we're going to start with the header. Let's get rid of all of that. We're going to start with this little header section. And, you know, one of the great things about Next.js is it allows us to just use React components. And, you know, we can just statically generate the website if that's what we want to, or just export the website, I should say. If it is just plain old HTML. So we've got a header, we're going to have a logo, export default function header. So we can just return that div. I'm going to have a div and a div which says, let's just do a span tag. No. Span, Pirsch. And then we want that logo in there somehow. So is that an image or? Okay, it's an SVG. So let's copy outer HTML. Let's go in here and do like logo.js, export default function logo. Let's return this. And then what I want to do, I want to pass in props, and then we don't want this width and height. And let's instead just pass like, you know, pass these props in. So what this allows us to do is within our header, we can now pull in the logo component, and we can say like class name equals width, I don't know, 5, height 7. And it should give us what we want. So we obviously need to import our header onto our index page. So let's return here a div. We do want the head from next head, and then we can do our header like so. Kind of destructure property styles of this .context. Okay. Not sure what it's trying to destructure here, to be honest. Is it something to do with this SVG props? Props. Oh, it's because head is empty. Oh. Head, title, let's just call it Pirsch. Kind of destructure styles of this .context. What are you on about? Is it to do with this logo? No. Is it to do with this header? Oh, flippin' idiot. It's took it from the wrong place. I'm like, why can it even be my header? Come on, what am I thinking? So let's do this. Okay, and we have a really big logo for some reason. I don't know why that is. So we've got our components folder down. Logo class name. Class name. So let's just inspect this logo. So you can see the width of 5 and the height of 7 has been applied, but it's not working. Let me just restart the server. I don't know why that is. It's working now. So we're happy. Okay, so let's just have a look. So if I screenshot from like here. Okay, so let's go with 1200 wide. There isn't a screen size or a max width size right around 1200, I don't believe. So if I extend the max, do I do this in variants? I don't think I do. I think it's just in theme, isn't it? Theme extend. That should be in the extend theme, right? Colors. Yeah. So then I do max width. And then if I set 1200 to 1200 pixels, like that, in the header, right at the top, I can do class name equals max width 12. Let's see, why is this? Okay, there we go. Max width 1200, MX auto, like so. Okay, perfect. And then we can also do like a PX of 8, not PX, PY of 8, to give it some of that. So max width is constraining the width to 1200 pixels, which we just declared in the config file. This MX auto is saying margin left and margin right of auto, which basically means it's going to center it. PY is saying padding top and padding bottom, and this one is around 32 pixels. So that's what these properties are doing. Now, what I want to do is I want this logo and span tag to be sat next to each other. So the easiest way to do that is if I just do class name equals flex. And then if I add like a bit of margin left, and then on this text, we can add another class name, and we can say like text XL font. Let's try medium. I think it had medium. Yeah, so we definitely need more. I need that in the right place for a start. Margin left of 1. Let's make sure that these items are aligned properly. And then let's do text 2XL. Okay, perfect. And it looks like they've just got the tracking a little bit wider. Oh no, they have it tighter, mine is wide. Try it in tight. And theirs is a bit further to the left. So if we do 1.5 maybe. Okay, perfect. Not pixel perfect, but pretty much there. So that's good enough for what we need. So the next section we're going to do is this little menu, and obviously we now have our header. We just want something at the other side of the header. So we're going to use Flexbox for that as well. If you look at this div here, if we make this one flex right now, and then we're going to have 2 divs inside of that, and we're going to separate those divs. We're going to make sure that as much space possible goes between them. So if I just put like a div with hello, you can see it will be right next to it right now. The flex container, it's automatically going to take the full width, and what we can do, the magic we need right now is just justify content space between property, and then it's going to push it as far to the right as it can. And if you added another div just for just to show you, you can see it's spacing between the items like so. Of course, we don't want to say hello though. We want to add some menu items. So I'm just going to do regular A tags just for this demonstration. We would normally use link tags for Next.js, but we don't really need to do that. So if I just do a href like this, ESLint is going to shout at me because it's this one. So we're gonna say pricing documentation login. And you know what, like I will import link from next link. I will show you how to do it properly. So inside of that, we would do a link tag, and we'll put the href as nothing. And then inside of the link tag, we'll put the a tag. And you know what, let's just do it like this, pricing. So if I was building out like a real application that I might need to come back in, edit and make changes to, I think a best practice here would be, let's just make this into a functional component so we can reuse it. So let's just call this a nav link. Again, normally I would export this into a different file. We might have a bunch of header components like this, whatever. This button might be consistent across the board, although it looks slightly different to all the rest. But let's just do it this way. So then we're going to have the nav link, and I want to pass it a href. So let's call this one pricing, and then I want to pass it some text. And then if we replace this, we say href and text, then we can just destructure those props. So we say href and text, like so. So then we have got a pricing link, and then all we need to do now is create documentation and login. Documentation, login, and log in, like so. So of course they're stacking on top of each other. The way we get rid of that is if we add a class name to this UL and just, again, we'll give it flex. They will now come next to each other. And then what I can do on this link, let's do like a margin left of 4, for example. The font is probably the right size. It maybe just needs to be a bit bolder. So if we make it font medium, I think it's probably a bit more space between them. And then outside of that UL, let's just add another link tag. Href is going to be, I'll just call it get started. We're not going to create all these pages, but you know, why not? An anchor tag, we don't need the href. I don't know if I said it already, but we're just adding these a tags so the browser knows that, you know, this is a link. Get started, like so. And that UL is flexed. So again, if we want to sit those next to each other like that, we can flex this div. And that's great. So on this a tag now, let's add a class to that, and we can do like margin left. So we got a bit of a gap, and then we're going to want to do the BG, and then it's this PIR green on hover. We'll do the PIR green hover. And they're coming from these colors that we did. Where am I? Header, background. So then if we do, it's quite a big button. Rounded. Okay. So then we want to, let's make sure that everything's aligned on the highest level, but then also in this div, it's aligned too. Perfect. And we can see something's not quite right. I think my button is a bit bigger. Yeah, we've got more of a gap at the top as well. So if I do PY7 maybe. Okay, that's good. My button's too wide, so PX3. And yeah, my button's too tall as well. So if we do PY like 1.5. And then on this button, we want to do, if we do text black and then font medium, we're almost there. They've got more of a gap to the left of the button. So if we do like margin left of 6 ml, margin left, and it's looking pretty close. You can see it, there's like tiny little bits of a gap, but I'm pretty happy with that. It looks very, very similar. Cool. So the next step is this sort of hero section. So you can see we've got centered text, a couple of buttons, and then some paragraphs. So we're done with the header now. Let's make another component and we'll call it hero.js. So we can export default function hero out like so. That's going to return a div. The first item is going to be that h1. It's got to be a h1, right? And then we've got a paragraph of text. It looks like we've got 2 links. So if we're going to need a link again, import link from next link like that. So I'm going to wrap those in a div, and then we're going to do link href equals. Let's just do get started on that one. We've got an a tag, and then we're going to say try it for free. So we're going to have 2 of those, and then we're going to do the next one is free demo. A live demo. And then underneath that, we've got no credit card required. Oh, paragraph, no credit card required. Let's bring that in. So if we now do hero, like so, let's import that. And we've got our hero. So because everything in our header, I believe we did this. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap these components in a div. And I'm going to apply the width constraints to everything, because it's all the same all the way down. Okay, so within the hero now, let's have a look at what we need to do. So we need to center this text and get it pretty big. So we'll do class name equals text 7XL, font semi-bold, see where we're at. And then yeah, obviously it's centered, but it's also, I mean, that's not quite big enough. Let's go for 8XL. Yeah, so that looks about like the right size, but it's also constrained. So if we just check how wide like this area is, it's about 760. TailwindCSS max width. It doesn't matter if it's not spelled right. So we're looking for about 760 pixels. Okay, so we're max width screen medium. So then what we can do on this div, we can constrain the width of this as well. So do max width screen medium mx auto to make sure it's centered. And then perfect, we've got it on the right amount of lines now. And then let's center the text. And then let's just do like this for now. Needs to go further down. Yeah, it's pretty much that, a bit further down again. And then line height wise, so that's called leading. I think because the font size is so big, I don't think any of these is going to particularly work. Let's have a look. So we need a bit bigger than that. Snug. Line height normal. Let's try relaxed. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I was thinking that. So let's try normal. so tight. Okay, that's looking better. It looks like something has shifted. It's on this index, max width 1200, max auto, header. Shouldn't. Whatever. And then is this text just black? Text primary black, yeah. So I'm pretty sure. Am I even changing the right thing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the text is black already. Okay, that's fine. It's looking pretty good. I think mine needs to go up a little bit more. We don't really have a, like if I did this like 150 pixels or something, maybe we can get it bang on, but so it needs to be closer again, 100 pixels. God, it's hard to know which way it's going. I think we can leave it, put in Y 24, PY 20, where was it at, 28, whatever. It's a bit big, but it's fine. So let's do this text. So if we do class name equals text large text dash PIR. Let's start with this 600, and then I think lead in, let's go with tight. Okay, let's go with, what's after tight, lead in snug, text extra large. It's almost there, it needs to be lighter. Okay, that looks to match. We need some margin on the top, so MT, margin top. Yeah, it looks about right. I think maybe just a little bit bigger. Text dash 2XL. Hey, that's almost there. I think it's in the middle between those two things, but yeah, I don't mind too much. And then that's the same color. So if we do this one, that is the same color. Looks about right. And then we just got these two buttons to do. I think one thing about the buttons, they have like a little transition on them to make it so it happens slowly. If you look on our website, when you hover, it kind of goes really slow. So what we can do is we can do a transition on the colors. And we set a duration to, I don't know, a couple hundred milliseconds, like that. And then you can see, yeah, it matches. It's a bit slower. It doesn't just happen immediately. All right, so let me just copy these styles for now, and let's apply it to this. So it's a much bigger button. So we want PX, let's go with 5, PY 3. Okay, on this div here, class name, let's do margin top. That's way bigger than that, margin top dash 12. And on the live demo one, let's do the same. But of course we want background, is it just white? Yeah, it looks white. BG white, hover, let's do BG dash PIR gray, something like that, that's fine. Live demo, great. Why is did I cut that color from the text? So text dash PIR gray 500. Try it for free, live demo. So I think, yeah, a bit taller. Oh, no. PY4. Buttons are a bit taller. Font size is a bit bigger. So if we do text extra large, maybe that's going to do the job. Yeah, I think that font size is too big. So let's just do large. It's better. Okay, kind of getting there. I think, yeah, clear differences, but we're looking pretty good. And then on this, no credit card required. Let's just do a margin top of that as well. Not that much. Yeah, so there. Okay, so we're not pixel perfect. If we were working to a design for a client, then of course we would customize the spacing and everything so that it matched perfectly. We would get the font sizes matching up. However, we're not, so I'm happy with that. Let's move on. So let's take this image link and let me just have a look where it's at. So it's at Pirsch.io. So that's fine. Let's yeah, we can just add I'm not gonna add a component for that. I'm just gonna import image from next image. So then if we just do this image source equals, just pass that. And then what's the width and height of it? 1200 by 768. So width equals 1200. Height equals 768. There we go. We're going to get an error. I just want to get this hostname Pirsch.io. So I need to make a next config.js. In here, we're going to do module exports equals. We're going to do images. I'm going to pass an array of domains. And Pirsch.io needs to go in there. And we need to restart our dev server. So next image, it will automatically optimize our images. It will optimize it for file size and format. So it's going to serve it at the appropriate size depending on what you're declaring here. And it's also going to prevent cumulative layout shift. It has a wrapper and it does some fancy stuff. You can do it in CSS, but it is amazing. I love it. Okay, perfect. So that looks, to be fair, pretty about right. Is it just me, or does everything seem a little bit squiffed? No, that's cool. Okay, so in the next section, let's just call it, I don't know, info. Oh, we'll just call it CTA1.js. That's easier, isn't it? And then what do we have in CTA1? Set up for the future today, and then a load of text. So we've got export default function CTA1. Let's return a div. Inside that we've got a div, and then this can be our h2, I guess. And then we're gonna have a div with 2 paragraphs of text. So let's get that. And then let's get that. Set for the future today. So this is 2 sections. this text looks like it's constrained again a little bit. Oh, maybe not, just this future is too long. That's fine. So to do two sections like this, we can do, so we've got this H2 and then a div. We could give them both like a width of 50% or something like that. Or we can just do a grid. So I'm just going to do a grid. So I'll just do grid, really easy, grid calls 2. And that should give us what we want. So let's import this CTA1 like so, and then yeah, that gives us what we want. So setup for the future today needs to be quite a bit bigger. So we do class name equals text. Let's start with 5XL and font semi-bold. Doop. Text 6XL. Perfect. Yeah, that looks spot on. I think it's maybe got a little bit more line height. But yeah, I'm not going to mess around with that. Actually, let's just do it. So lead in, let's try like tight. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, fine. And you think like it's getting it's getting a bit looser when we're doing tight, but it's just purely the size of the font. Okay, so then on this text, is it the same as that? Because that would be easy. Yeah, it looks like it. So let's go into our hero. Let's grab this. And then let's give these both class names. Let's add some margin top to that one. Yeah. And then on this whole thing, how much spacing do we have on the top? So like 200 pixels on the bottom. Yeah, probably about the same. So what I'll do is I'll do like PY 40. And that should give us a good bit of spacing between that section and the next one. So yeah, it's like that header, you can see it's like it's fixed. We could do the whole fixed header thing, not a problem. But yeah, just leave it for now. Set for the future today. I think that's what's throwing me off, is that header. It's kind of appearing and disappearing. Also, it feels like they must have some padding. Why is it? So the image is exactly 1200. And mine should be as well, but it feels like they're in different places. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. This section is good. So underneath that, what have we got next? Everything you expect and more. So you've got, yeah, there's not really a CTA, is it? Let's just keep going within this component here. No, that's not actually, we've just done that padding. So let's do, I'm just going to call this CTA2 because why not? CTA2.js. And then everything you expect and more. Hopefully that is the same font. So let's do, I don't know, it must be on a H3 right now. And then we can just text center that, text center. And then we can chuck on the text styles from CTA1. And of course we need to bring it in. CTA2. And yeah, so the width is constrained. So let's try the max dash width dash. Let's try that one again. Yep. And then let's mix all of that. Everything you expect and more. Good, good, good. Yeah, it feels like the tracking is a bit tighter on the font. Okay, not to worry about it. So we're gonna have now a grid. Again, another grid. We've got now a small title, hopefully the same font, and then an image and a button. So I think this See Live Demo button, yeah, we're gonna use that button a few times. So in our hero, let's just extract out this button. So let's do Extractor functional component. So let's just call it button. I call it green button, or in case we need to do the white one. And then, yeah, so what I want to do again is I'm going to pass a href of get started. I'm going to pass the text equals like this. Try it for free. So then here we go the text. Here we put the href, and we destructure both of those from the props like so. And I'm going to make a new component called greenButton.js, and then export function, import a link from next link. And we can import green button from green button. And we should have the same thing. We can just use the green button again. Cool. So now we've extracted that out. Let's get down to making this div. So CTIA2. So we've got a div. It's got to be a grid again. So it's a grid. We've got 2 columns in the grid. Inside that, we've got 2 divs, and then this div is going to have an image in it. So let's import image from next image, like so. Let's grab that image, copy image. No, we don't want to copy the image. We want the image link. So we don't even need that in a div, I don't think. Let's just do the image like this. Source equals. Let's just do this like that. And then what's our width and height on that? So I think it's taller, isn't it? So width equals 568. Height equals 568, 589. Perfect. So we need some spacing on the top of this grid. So let's just whack it at 10 for now. Let's make it 14. Yeah, even bigger. Can we do, let's just do 20. Okay, and then I'm just going to, so we got a grid, we got 2 grid columns, and then within this one, I'm just going to add in, we're down to H4s now, I think. H4, and we've got 2 p tags. The p tag, and then just from the first CTA we can take this, so that will go on the, that will go on there, and then we'll take that and get rid of that. Then we've got a button, so we've got a green button that goes beneath that, green button. So href is going to be, it was a live demo, / live demo, text equals see live demo. And is a button got margin on the left? Margin left of 6, yeah. So let's get rid of that and see what that breaks on the site. Let's do on this green button though, we can just wrap that in a div. So we can put some margin on the top. So yeah, let's go with 10. And then, yeah, we didn't need the margin left on that button there. I think it was just copied from this anyway. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Obviously, if you notice that we've got a div here. This div right there. And we want to center the context sort of vertically within that. So what we want to do is if we flex it, and we want it to be a flex call, and then we can do justify center, like so. And that will center it like so. Now we just need the font styles for the H4. So let's do, I don't know, 3XL, text, font semi-bold. It's not quite that bold. And then, yeah, we've got more spacing. I think these might be 6s. And yeah, that font looks about right. So what we can do on this div here, let's just add some padding right of like 4. Was that the right div? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So it's just given a bit of bit more of a separation between them, you see. I think they might have even a little bit more than that. No, not quite that much. So let's do 14. So it just makes like a bit of a gap between. So that is looking pretty much similar. Pretty much similar. Yeah, not far out, not far out, not far out. Like I say, it isn't about giving pixel perfect designs. Okay, so what we need to do now is the same thing again. We're just gonna flip it. So let's just keep it in here. Has it got the same spacing? Let's just see if we do it like this. We'll just do a fragment. We'll copy this stuff. I will copy the image and put that as the first grid item, and we want that to be padding left. And then let's change the text stuff. Let's change the image URL. And let's see what we got. Yeah, so we don't want the everything you expect and more. And we do want more spacing. So if we make that margin top 32, yeah, it looks about right. And then I don't think the image sizing is correct for this. 600 by 589. So I'm guessing the height is 600 and the width is 589. Oh, 681 by 686. 681 by 5, is that 568 or 586? 568. That looks better. And then, yeah, that looks pretty good. And we obviously don't have that button, so we don't need that. And okay, cool. So we're on to, I don't know, let's call it a features component. So let's make a new file called features.js, export default function features, features return div. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a grid. Class name equals grid. Grid calls 3, and then let's do a gap. I don't know. Let's start with 5 for now. And within this, then we're gonna have 6 divs. Each div can have. I'm not gonna do a heading. Just do a div and a paragraph tag. And then, like, that text looks similar but a tiny bit bigger than that other one. So if I go back to my CTR2 for this title, let's just do class name equals that. So then we got no cookie banner, and the p tag we have got this. And then we'll just do our regular, what happened? What has happened? So we got a div, a p tag, a div. What's it not liking? 1, 2. That self closes. 1, 2, 3. What's it expecting to close? Oh. So let's take our text, and again, you could definitely make a Tailwind class to apply to all of these, which would be much easier than kind of copy and pasting it all the time. But yeah, let's just get rid of that margin for now. And what I can do, I can extract that to a functional component. I'll just call it, you know, feature item. And then let's give this a title. So we'll say feature item. Title equals that. And it's obviously going to take in a title and some text. This is going to be the text. And then we can pass in the text like so. And then let's bring in our features. So we got no cookie banner, looking good. Features section. So how much padding do we have on that? Quite a lot. So like empty top 24, MB like 40, whatever. Okay. So then we want to have I think they have 5. Yeah, a little bit strange, but anyway. Let's copy this stuff across on your data. So I know this kind of copying and pasting stuff is a little bit boring, but it is what it is. To get the content looking right, we need to do it. Regular emails, and there we go. So we got definitely more spacing, and my text is definitely bigger. So feature item, paragraph, you know, let's add some margin on the top of those. And then, yeah, I think the gap is also quite a bit bigger on the grid. So we do like gap 7, is that a thing? Yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna drop that paragraph text down to, oh, it's not quite right. How many pixels is that? 1.25. And then what's that? So I'm positive it's something in the middle, like 22 pixels. Yeah. Font, text rendering. Yeah, 22 pixels, fuck me. Right. Yeah, fine. Obviously it's not very responsive at the moment, guys. We will fix that. Hopefully this one is better. Yeah. So yeah, not too responsive, but looking good so far. So let's continue. I'm not gonna get too anal about the details, like I say. So this code section, there's nothing complicated about it. I'm just gonna skip these code blocks because there's not much to learn from that, and we're just gonna spend quite a bit of time writing JavaScript, and you know, these sort of tabs, you know, making them accessible and stuff like that. It's gonna take time. So yeah, we're gonna skip that part. It's essentially a code block surrounded by a pre-tag. Can we see it here? Yeah, with tabs that will change out whichever one is shown based on the current state, I guess, if we're gonna use React. And then it's probably using we've got Prism.js, a script here. Which I imagine is formatting the code. So let's skip the code blocks. Is this an image? Yeah, so we can do this. No problem. So let's add in, like, what's this? Clients.js, export default function clients, return a div. Again, it's going to be a grid, and we've got a div, and then we've actually got an image, like so. So if we import image from next image, then let's grab this. Yeah, so let's copy image link. So actually we do need a div with the image in it. Source equals that, because it's a PNG, I guess. 384 by 87. So width equals 384, height equals 87. And then just for this, let's just, no, I'm not doing that. Class name equals flex, justify center, and then items center, BG black. And then in this div, let me bring this in so you can see it. So let's bring in clients. Like so, yep. So let's do, on this outer one, let's do class name equals grid, grid calls 3. And this one we want to do call span 1. And then on this one, let's do call span 3. No, 2. Perfect. And then we can add, you know, like a rounded to that. I think it had on it, didn't it? So it's rounded more. And then there's also, so let's do like py, I don't know, let's try 16. Yeah, something like that. Maybe even 20, like so. And then in this one here, we have got, I don't know, let's do like a h5, whatever, h5, paragraph, and we've got like green button, like this. Href equals, I don't know, let's just say /add or something like that. Text equals add to WordPress. That's a WordPress. Okay, so then this P, let's find some text that we've got. Actually, I think let's go with the right size text. So let's do that one. So class name equals, put that on there, and then fit for WordPress. I will go with the same title size as well. Fit for WordPress, we need some margin on that button. Okay. And then we can just do a reversal. That's not that much. Let's actually increase the padding on this image. So do that 24, and then we make sure that this is flex, it's a flex call, and we justify center. Yeah, that's gonna be better. And then let's just flip it. So if I do that, that looks really confusing. But let's move this div for the image above. Like that. Let's just do, say gap x 5 gap dash y 10 gap y 20 gap y 40 so maybe like 30, let's go with 32, and then we change the text to works with Google Search Console. And then this, and then is that just text? Oh, it's an image. 384 by 42. Copy image link. 384 by what? 42. We don't have the button on that one. You definitely have more gap. So on this text, or on this, yeah, so on the div here, let's add, so we got this div here, let's add padding right of 8, And on this one, let me add padding left of it. And that just makes it so that we've got a bit more space in between. And finally we've got this call to action at the bottom. So let's make a cta.js. Return div. Class name of that is going to be, so we want the background to be black. Div just ready to get started. And then we've got a paragraph. We've got a green button with the href and the text. So start your start 30-day. 30-day free trial. Href like get started. Obviously we didn't import it, so let's import that right now. So CTA, got lots of CTAs, random ones. Okay, so class name is going to be text white. Text dash, let's start with 6XL. Font dash medium. Text center. Margin top 40. That's even more than that, isn't it? Margin top of, let's go 48. I think we want to do rounded XL. And then let's do like some of that, like PY40 right now. Ready to get started. Set up your website, only takes a few minutes. Class name equals text PIR. So we do like grade 300. That button. Class name equals margin top, something like that. So do 500. Text XL. Fine. Margin top. I think it's slightly bigger than that again. It's going to be, I think there's 22 pixels font. Set up your website, only takes a few minutes. It's not quite enough spacing. Then we've just got no credit card required. And that will just be normal text, I think. And then let's get a sensible amount of margin on here. So we got 120. So yeah, it's gonna be like 30. PY 30. 2. Or 28 maybe. Go the other way, make it a bit smaller. I think where we've got rounded LG on those clients, let's change those to XL. And then where we've got it, yeah, that's fine. We're this footer. So the footer, again, let's do a footer. So we'll do a component, a footer.js, export default function footer. Oh, been talking away, hopefully the sound is not too bad. Return, we got a div, and this div, we're going to need two divs inside of it. So that's going to be a grid calls to this one, class name equals what we doing on this one. So we've got a div with Pirsch analytics, got a div with made and hosted in Germany, and then we can do a div with that. So if we were doing this in an actual application and this is a footer, then what I would usually do is this return statement. If we do that, we can add on a React fragment, which basically allows us to have like two children. And then we're going to just bring in the footer at the top level here, so it appears on all pages. And then, yeah, so it's not actually in our, whatchamacallit, not actually in our thingamabob wrapper. So yeah, let me just do it the different way. Let's just put it at the bottom here. But yeah, normally I would have the header and footer actually both in the app. So we've got that. Let's whack some margin on the top of our footer. So margin top dash 24. There's Pirsch analytics, class name text 2XL, font medium. No, so just 2, it's just XL. And then I think that both of the others are class name equals text dash PIR gray. Let's go with 600. We'll see what happens. Nah, 500. Made and hosted in Germany. Yeah, so there's a bit of margin here. Cool. And then basically in the other section what's the best way to do this one? So we could grid it with 3 columns, or we could flex it. So if we do, yeah, let's just flex it. So if we do class name equals, and I say flex like this, what I'm going to do is add div times by 3. So then I'm going to have in this div, let's just take that, got that div, and then we've got an li, no, sorry, we've got a ul, we got an li, we got an a, we don't need the href, actually we want to wrap that in a next link component, href equals, so that's just going to be home and home, and then let's import a link from next link. So then we've got Pirsch analytics home, that is the same dodgy color. Let's do this. And on hover, it gets even lighter. Hover, text, paragraph 400. We can add the transition, colors, duration 200 to that. And then let's extract this li component like that. Footer nav link. And you know what we're about to do. We're going to give it a href equals / and the text is going to be home. So we're going to take in here a href and text. Href is going to equal to href, and then this is going to be the text like so. So then we've got pricing, and I'm not going to change all of those. Pricing, terms and conditions, privacy policy, and legal notice. So perfect. We have got on these links, it looks like we've got a bit of margin top on each of these. So let's see what that looks like. Can't be full. Is that just not working? Is it because of this? Yeah. Okay. So then this one is going to be links. And then yeah, we flex that up. So let's just make sure on the whole thing we've got margin bottom like 20. So it scrolls down. And then we just want to have all of this twice. So we got resources and social. And then let's do this justify between like so. Send live demo documentation. Live demo documentation. APIs and SDKs. Changelog and then FAQ. FAQ. We've got GitHub, Twitter, Discord, product hunt. So GitHub, Twitter, Discord, and product hunt. Okay, live demo. Okay, so it's looking good. Yeah, they've got a bit more spacing on theirs. So in each of the divs here, we can do like class name equals, I don't know if we do like padding right of 4 or something, just give them a bit more. Like, where's the gap coming from? I don't have that much space. So this is not actually stretching. So it's flex, justify between on all the other 3. So why is it not going full width? Why is it not coming to the right hand side? So I've got, this is our first div. That's our second one. So it's flex, grid calls 2. that should be full width. It just feels like flex justify between. Then we've got a div and a div and a div. Oh, is that it? Yes, there we go. And yeah, I think like it's probably something like 22 pixels again. Oh no. So what's halfway in between the other two? 18 pixels. Nope. Like 15. Yeah, so 16 pixels. Okay, fine. Okay, so I think that is pretty good, except for when you would look at it on mobile, for example. So there's some fun challenges to make this responsive, and we're going to tackle that in a next video dedicated to responsive design with TailwindCSS, and we're going to make this fully responsive. So I shall see you in the next video.